Hey everyone, I hope you've been enjoying your summer. I certainly have. Between a couple weeks off, I've been exploring different ways of more methodically preparing content for AI or making it AI ready, while also exploring knowledge graphs and how the two might work together in a way that's accessible to non-experts or not just to people who are building complicated AI systems in the technical realm, but everybody, because I think everybody is going to have to think about how they manage their own knowledge, their own content, their information that they're going to feed to the AIs that they're building. As I've been saying, it's better that we be builders of our own AI than just users. Part of that journey has been taking a course on information typing from Precision Content and Rob Hanna, who I spoke with in a webinar on Bright Talk through Content Wrangler last week. If you missed that, you can still watch the recording. The link will be with the text to this video. Well, one of the things that I shared during that webinar was how I've been using information typing to better organize my information about the study abroad that I take students to in Krakow, Poland, realizing that I'm going to have trouble remembering some of this stuff. And actually, it's a little easier if this stuff is written down rather than kind of figuring it out every year. And also, if somebody else wanted to take over my study abroad, the information will be there. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. But I will say, improving my AI assistant for the study abroad, that's really one of my main goals. So making the information more usable for me or maybe another human facilitator actually is going to make it easier for the AI to use as well. Now, I already have an AI assistant that I kind of use with a lot of the things that I do, but this will really improve that. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to do a video where I go a little bit deeper into what I'm doing with that information and what that looks like. I've been using a program called AnyType, which I'll link in the notes below, but it's basically kind of like Notion, if you've heard of that, or Microsoft Loop, or Roam Research. It's a knowledge base or a place where you can keep notes and tasks and all sorts of things, but it's really built on the idea of a knowledge graph. So whatever you put into AnyType, you have to identify what type it is. And with a study abroad, that's going to be person, place, thing, artifact, things like that. And so one of the things I started doing was creating a collection of just places. So now when the AI has access to this knowledge, it knows that all of these things are places. And so if it's searching for a place, it knows exactly where to go. So you can see actually all the places I've created so far, and I've really only started this, and I think I started tagging some of these as well. So you can actually, this is a restaurant, this is a city. So then the AI can more easily distinguish if it's looking for a restaurant, it can actually pull up just places that are restaurants, making it a lot quicker and easier for AI to find the correct information. So the one that I showed in the webinar that I think is a little more detailed at the moment is Krakus Mound, which is a large mound outside of Krakow that nobody really knows where it came from. It's prehistoric, but you can climb to the top and you can watch the sunset behind the old city, which is something I try to do every year with my students. This is probably what a lot of our notes look like, where we're just kind of writing down, taking notes, and not really organizing or parsing it much, which is okay probably for personal use in a lot of ways, but it does make it more difficult for humans to access that information. And I would argue AI as well, especially if you have lots of these. If I gave this paragraph only to AI, of course it would work well. But if you have lots of these in the content that you've prepared for AI, it's going to get worse as you scale. So actually, this is how I started, because I realized this is actually a really great use case for blocking chunks of information and identifying what they are for the AI. So I actually labeled this one description using XML tags, rationale, process, tip, moment. And these are all things that I'm thinking probably will go in most place entries in this database. So every time now I create a database or a entry for a place, there's definitely going to be a description. There'll probably be a rationale. There'll probably be a process tip, etc. There may be more things that I haven't thought of yet, but that's what I've got so far. So when the AI pulls up Crackus Mound and it's looking for why we go, or we're looking for what's the process like, it's going to find it immediately. Well, after taking the Precision Content course on information types, where we kind of break down things in terms of reference, concept, process, principle, reference, and you can kind of get more details on that in my last post on Substack, which I'll link in the text below. But you can actually see how these line up with these information types. So this is definitely a reference. These are facts. These are things to know about Crackus Mound. This is a concept, why we go there. Now, I think this one might be not right. It takes a little practice to figure out what's the difference between a concept and a reference. So concept is something that you understand, not just know. So that's kind of why I put the rationale in there. This is clearly a process. It's not a step-by-step task for somebody to do. It's just kind of describing the overall process. Now, I could put in more detailed tasks list here. And tip is more of a principle, like this is something to think about when you're doing this. And then a moment would be a reference that if I needed to go back and reference what would happen. And so this helps the AI understand the purpose of each of these blocks, not just what they are. Now, the nice thing about AnyType, and that you're going to get a sneak peek of what I'm building here, is that you can link this relationally to different types of information. So if I've actually linked this to Ognium i Mecium restaurant, which is a great restaurant in Krakow, and I can go there. I haven't labeled this or anything, but we now know that Crackus Mound is associated with this restaurant. Why? Because it's actually pretty close by. And you can also have backlinks. So we also see that this is also connected to study abroad records that I created. And of course I could tag this, which I haven't done yet. So then I asked AI, what other questions would a study abroad facilitator might have about Crackus Mound? So that I could think about what content is missing here. Like these are things that just popped into my head that I personally want to remember. And so I did that and then started answering those questions and then putting those into the different categories. So here we got a little bit more explanation about purpose so that when the AI pulls up this entry, it doesn't have to guess what the purpose is. It's right there explicitly. And then I created this reference chunk where we have all the details about the Crackus Mound organized a little better, honestly, so that you can find exactly what you're looking for. You can scan it. The visiting requirements, what students might need to think about, transportation times, like that was all in my head. And I'm pretty sure I will always remember this, but if somebody wanted to use my AI or wanted to facilitate this later, then it's recorded right here in a nice table that's easy to find and read. So if I put this into an AI and I asked it to write email announcements to students that we're going to Crackus Mound tomorrow and what they need to do to prepare, it's going to find the information it needs super easy and integrate that into the email without me taking the time to feed that into a prompt or to write the announcement myself. So you can already see how this kind of AI ready content is going to cut down on the amount of prompting and the amount of work that I'm going to do in the future. And if you want to see this in a knowledge graph, you can go to graph view, and here you can see Crackus Mound, and this is really not done at all. So, but you can kind of get an idea what this looks like. So here are all the places that you can trace down to Crackus Mound, and you can see it's connected to a study abroad records page. It's also connected to Ognium i Mecium restaurant there. And then It's actually based on a book, which that's there, which it should be connected to the restaurant, but apparently I didn't link it. So you can see it takes a little extra work to make this AI ready, but also you can see the payoff in the future. So hopefully that gives you an idea of some of the things that I've been thinking. You'll certainly be seeing more of this soon. Love to hear your thoughts or questions in the comments.